Hello and welcome back to the Dugout podcast. This is episode number 91, and we are joining you on a beautiful Monday in Scotland. The sun is still shining. It's been happening for a few days now. We've been very lucky. We don't really get that very often in Scotland. I am in a terrific mood today after the weekend's action. Ethan, maybe a bit less so. And yeah, I'll just bring in Ethan now. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, but I'm doing very good actually. Obviously, I know what you're referring to. Disappointing result for Celtic yesterday. One that I don't think a lot of people expected, that or the performance. But I think we've came to learn that all three of the title contenders are all very capable of dropping points on any given day. I believe I seen a stat yesterday that, in fact, only one weekend throughout the season, all three of those teams have won. So that's a crazy stat, and I think sums up where we are in this title race. It's getting to the point now where it's maybe not going to be the best team who wins the league, but the least of the worst of the three. And who that might be, I don't think you could maybe nail it down. Obviously, I think I've said on here for a while that I've had Hearts as my favourites. I think after last week's result, it switched to Celtic, and I'm not gonna switch off Celtic after one result because I know this was very capable. That, as I said, any of the three teams could drop points on any given day. So yeah, I'm still going to stick with Celtic, but obviously they're in the third least advantageous position after the weekend's results. So yeah, some entertaining matches, some surprises across the games, but yeah, another entertaining, maybe less entertaining than the average Scottish football weekend this season, but still entertaining nonetheless. And how's yourself, of course, Alex?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm a bit like you. I think I can't remember how many times I've changed who I thought was going to win this league title. I swear, a couple of weeks ago, I thought I said Rangers were out of it. It's done. And now I think I've changed my opinion again. I think Rangers are going to win it. So it's it's all over the place. I'm really flip flopping, but aye, it's keeping me on my toes. And before the weekend, I thought Celtic were going to win the league. Then they turned out that turd of a performance. So I'm really not. I'm not. Well, I'm leaning towards Rangers because of certain biases, but I'm still. I would say I'm still not particularly sure. But you did reference there was a few interesting results over the weekend, and we'll start on probably for me the most shocking one. Falkirk won, St Mirren 2. Falkirk opened the scoring through Barney Stewart, who, he's saying to Steve Clark, you should have had a look at me, mate. He's been bagging in the goals recently. Maybe if he keeps up this form, he can play himself into the squad for the summer. Um, but St Mirren did equalise for just 3 minutes later through Miguel Freckleton, and they got their second in the second half through Liam Donnelly, making it 2-1. And St Mirren, with a huge win, they lost their manager. They then had to play Rangers, which is never tough. You never expect them to get a result. They did lose 1-0. But I'd, I don't know if this has been a bit disrespectful, but I feel like this is their first real game without Stephen Robinson, if you know what I'm trying to say. Because obviously, if any team comes up against Rangers or Celtic, and probably you can include Hearts in that this season, that it's perhaps it's a bit of a write off no matter who's in charge. Obviously, the people have got results, but you know what I'm trying to say. But I feel like this is the first real game for St Mirren without Stephen Robinson, and they've managed to win. And Stephen Robinson has not won yet as Aberdeen manager, so I'm very, very interesting.
Yeah, certainly is, and an excellent result and a really important one for St Mirren at that, and one that, as you said, I certainly didn't see coming. I thought Falkirk would win this match pretty easily based on what we've seen from St Mirren recently, both under Stephen Robinson and now Craig McLeish is the caretaker when he came in from the under 19s role. And I think he's done himself no harm so far in the role. I think he said he would believe he'd be comfortable in taking the job full time. I don't know if that'll be the route the club goes down. I think most Buddies fans are really wanting to see the appointment of Neil Lennon, who has obviously done very well at Dunfermline, but whether he would leave Dunfermline with a chance to make history in the Scottish Cup semi-final to go to St Mirren's another question. But obviously, you could argue Stephen Robinson done the
Mirren
same.
have the chance to St Mirren have the chance to make history in the Scottish Cup as well.
Yeah, I know, but it feels more significant for Dunfermline, if you know what I'm trying to say, because obviously St Mirren have already won a cup
Is
this year, and Neil Lennon's Scotland.
Dunfermline are a daddy team? Is that what you're saying?
No, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying St Mirren are a Premiership club who've already won a trophy this season, and I think Dunfermline's route to the route
Yeah,
to
Dunfermline are a wee daddy championship team who drew with 10-man Ross County at the weekend.
no,
And are,
Fairland have
are
had a tougher road to the semi-finals, I would say, and I think Neil Lennon will stay on to complete the job. But obviously, he will be rumoured with that job until someone gets it, I think, and it might be him. But no, Craig McLeish has done a really solid job since coming to the role at St Mirren, and an excellent result as well for them because, as we've said, they've not got a lot of wins this season. Falkirk have never been an easy team for anyone to play against this season, and in fact, that's the second time Falkirk have lost 2-1 at home to St Mirren this season. So really disappointing for John McGlynn. They can't capitalise on any of the teams who drop points above them, more specifically, obviously, Hibs. And then if you want to extend it to Motherwell, who've been on a little bit of a difficult run recently, but I don't think there's any danger of Falkirk overtaking them. And the other thing is for Falkirk, that they're yet to still fully secure top six. Do you think there's any chance that Dundee United could get there still?
no, Falkirk would need to lose their last two
Okay.
games, and Dundee United would need to win their last two games. I don't, and there would need to be what, a 7 goal swing or something
Yeah,
crazy like
that's
that.
not. Yeah, that's not that many across 4 games. That's like what, 2 goals a game?
Maybe. Well, what's
No,
who've
it's not.
done?
It's not going to happen. I don't think it'll happen.
They
Falkirk have.
both well, they both need to play Rangers, so I think they're both losing those games. So
Yeah, but we've seen this season that that's not a that's not a formality. But no, I do
that's
think it is.
so. No, I had this point, but in the chamber, but I'm just going to release it now. Rangers are the best team in the Scottish Premiership. Um, I think just if you look at the statistics over the past few games, um, they create the most chances. They're the best. Like, strangely enough, they do create the most chances in the league. They've got the most expected goals across the league. They are. I think they are the best team in the Scottish Premiership, and the defence is starting to shore up again. I think Rangers have suffered from perhaps having a really inexperienced side and obviously needing to come out of what was the horror start. Um, but I feel like Rangers are the best team in the Scottish Premiership, and that's the point that I had in the chamber there. So, um,
Well, I think it's an interesting point to say Rangers are the best team in the league. I mean, I think you could put forward, you could make cases for Celtic, even though they were terrible at the weekend. You could obviously make a case for the league leaders who have been the league leaders for a while. In terms of XG, I think Rangers maybe recently, but Celtic have, I think, created 9 more expected goals across the course of the season.
sorry,
Uh,
I mean, say over the past few
yeah,
games,
I know what you meant.
I stumbled
Yeah,
in my
I know what
work.
you meant. No, I get your point. I think Rangers will probably beat Dundee United and Falkirk, but probably is the key word there. But anyway, I thought it was just a funny thing to propose that maybe Falkirk don't get top six after all, but I think they'll be there, and I think John McGlynn will be well within the nominees for manager of the season, despite another disappointing result at home to St Mirren. But a big
Yeah,
win
and
for
they've
St
got
Mirren.
they've got a clear path to the cup final against this Diddy team they're playing. So
You're the only one that called it a daddy team, so
I've made some. If there's any Dunfermline fans watching, I've made some enemies.
Yeah, you have. No, I think there's obviously a chance that Dunfermline could win that, but Falkirk are going as big favourites, of course. And what else was I going to say on this match? You mentioned that Barney Stewart. I think he possibly, well, I think he should have deserved to be in that Scotland squad. He's got 5 goals in his last 4 matches, and I think he's shown across the course of the season that it's not a purple patch. 9 goals in 15 since coming back from Dunfermline for Falkirk, and 17 goals in 27 in all competitions this season, which is an excellent record. And I think Scotland could use with him, and
I
I
feel
think
like
he.
because if you look at the options they've got, I mean, Tommy Conway's got like 8 or 9 goals or something in the championship this season. Um, with a what was a title challenge in Middlesbrough side, they've dropped off quite a bit recently, but you feel like if you're playing that many games, because he does play a lot, he does start a lot, I'm pretty sure, for Middlesbrough, so he should be scoring more goals, in my opinion. For some reason, the Charlton fans love him, but looking at the statistics, Lyndon Dykes hasn't been impressive. I'm pretty sure his highest scoring individual season is in his whole career is, oh, I want to say it's maybe 19. And I might be giving him more credit than he's due. I'll
What is
just see
this?
if I.
That's Tommy Conway.
No, Lyndon Dykes, I'm speaking
Lyndon
about now.
Dykes. Tommy
Um,
Conway's is 13.
no, Lyndon Dykes, I was giving him more credit. His highest scoring season in his entire career is 12. So and that was at Livingston, and then he did that again at QPR. Shea Adams, to his credit, has been quite good in Torino this over the past couple of years or so. I feel like he's improved in a Scotland jersey as well. There was times where he was useless, in my opinion. I didn't want him anywhere near the squad, but I think he's grown into that role, and he does a lot more sort of off the ball work that he maybe didn't offer previous. But um, yeah, Dykes um, and Conway are strange. I don't think. I think Tom. How many times has Tommy Conway played? Like once or twice.
Yeah, a
It's
couple of times.
not been a lot. And when you've got someone banging in goals in the local league, I mean, I know it's not the Scottish Premiership. Probably isn't as high quality as the English Championship. Maybe just. I think we do have some teams that would do really well in the Championship, but I think overall, if you balance that out, we've not got as much quality. But it's yeah, it's strange, and I wanted Barney Stewart to get a shot. I felt like it was the perfect opportunity. Obviously, Kieran Bowie not making it. He's been poor since going over to Italy. Oh, and don't get me started on. I forgot about this guy because he's so garbage. George Hurst decided he was Scottish when he was 25 years old or whatever the heck. 26. So yeah, he should. Yeah, I feel like Barney Stewart should have been given an opportunity over at least one of those three.
Fair enough, fair enough. You're brutal, but I respect I respect what you're saying, and I think he deserved a chance. You know, he turns 22 next month, like Finlay Curtis. So I think there might have been players more deserving of Finlay Curtis in the Scottish Premiership, but Finlay Curtis has got years of development, years of be ahead of him and being part of the Scotland squad. And
No,
that's
name them.
name the players that I think should be in ahead of Finlay Curtis.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I've said before Calvin Miller.
Nah, no way.
Right, okay. Well, that's fine. You can disagree, but
Calvin
um,
Miller's washed baller.
washed baller. Okay, washed baller. Is that the terminology we're using? He's been one of the best players in the league this season, one of the best wingers in the
What
league.
what's he done?
Would you? No, you're just. No, I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna.
Look at these statistics are shambolic. Four goals,
What statistics are shambolic?
4 goals in the league.
And what? It doesn't
Seven,
matter. Watch the game
seven
with your
assists.
eyes.
Yeah, and that's why Finlay Curtis is in the team because
Right.
Steve.
Well, I'm almost guarantee that Finlay Curtis has less goals and assists if you want to go down that route. But what I was saying was, Finlay Curtis, I like him being part of the squad now for these type of occasions because, as I said, we expect big things from him in the future, and getting him in to the squad and in and around the senior players in the environment early is always a good thing to do. And I'd say the same thing for Barney Stewart. So, yeah, I think he's really unlucky to miss out. He took his goal really well, was really poor defending from St Mirren. They were messing about with it. Miguel Freckleton gives the ball away to Dylan Tate. But lucky for Miguel Freckleton, he made amends almost right away with the equaliser, a good header from him. And then obviously St Mirren get the winner through an unlikely source, and Liam Donnelly, who was starting at centre back, I believe, which shows the injuries that St Mirren have had to deal with. Mark O'Hara was playing at right wing back as well, I think, and that I can't believe that when I seen this stat that cross and assist from Mark O'Hara was his first goal involvement of the season, which probably shows the extent of how much St Mirren have been struggling in front of goal. So massive win for them, especially with the
Well,
result yesterday.
plus Mark O'Hara's been out for the whole blooming season.
He's not been out. He's still played a fair. I know he's had injury problems, but he's still played a fair amount of games. Let me check how many appearances.
I feel like he's been out a lot.
16 appearances, 13 starts in the Premiership. That's still quite a lot. For Mark O'Hara, you remember how many goals he scored. He has an excellent record. I remember, if I remember correctly, against Celtic and Rangers specifically.
Yeah, but
So
are most of those appearances him coming back, recovering, and then getting injured again? You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I'm not. It's not a sort of um, criticism of Mark O'Hara. I think it just
Sounded
shows.
like it.
No, it wasn't. It was just showing that. Um, it was just showing the extent of him as one that you would look at one of St Mirren's key player, one of key outlets to find and create goals, not getting any. Recent seasons, 8, 12, 14 contributions. So, yeah, I think St Mirren will take massive confidence from that win in the last two games. And obviously, they'll have to be on form because Kilmarnock got their win as well. And yeah, I think it'll be an interesting battle between those two sides and possibly other ones, which we'll speak about later.
Yeah. We'll move on to Kilmarnock because it was crucial for them, but maybe dampened a little bit by St Mirren actually deciding to show up. 2-0 win over Livingston. The Golden Boy, Finlay Curtis, with his first goal for Kilmarnock this season since coming in January. Laurie's been ranting, raving about him, about how good he's been, deserving of the Scotland call up, clear of Calvin Miller by a country mile. Uh, no, I'm kidding.
That'd be interesting. We could, well, if any of the viewers want to chime in on this, then you can comment. Who do you think has had a better season and is
Well,
more
we haven't
deserving?
done one of these in a while. Let's run a poll. Who would you
Poll
have
on
rather had
TikTok.
in the Scotland squad? We'll run one of these on TikTok and YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the question to everyone, so I can clip this out properly. The Scotland squad was announced. Finlay Curtis was called up to the Scotland squad. Ethan is a big fan of Calvin Miller at Falkirk. Should Calvin Miller have been called up instead? Let us know who you would rather have in the Scotland squad in the poll on screen.
I would have had both of them. And
Would you?
yeah, I would have had both of them. I think this was the perfect opportunity. There's not any pressure on this international break. A real opportunity to get players who haven't experienced the national team before. And I know Calvin Miller's not the same age as Finlay Curtis, a little bit older and less development. But I think this is the chance to get these players into the squad and see what they can do. I know Steve Clarke is one that we've said a lot of times is he likes his favourites and stuff like that. But I just hope that when it comes to it in June, he does pick the best squad and we give ourselves the best chance of progressing out of that group stage for the first time and having a good tournament because I think we're well capable of it. So yeah, that was my thoughts. But delighted for Finlay Curtis to get off the market, Kilmarnock, and obviously well, yeah, kind of celebrating that achievement of being in the national team with the goal, and he took it well.
Yeah, it was a nice finish, but of course, Joe Hugo did open the scoring early in the game. That was a nice finish from him as well, getting in front of the defender, a good delivery, and yeah, just sort of poking that in off the post. And yeah, I think really good from Kilmarnock. They've won back-to-back games now. Cracking one, obviously, last week against the Jambos. And now I think, we all knew they were dead and buried, but I think this confirms it, unfortunately, for Thistle. Thistle, I was thinking of their nickname or their badge or whatever. I swear they've got a nickname that's the Thistles or something like that, but or but the Lions, Livingston, down. I think,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I would
unfortunate.
agree. I would agree that down and out now, especially with both Kilmarnock and St Mirren picking up 3 points. I think they're dead and buried now, unfortunately for Marvin Bartley and these players, and obviously David Martindale, who still plays a big role in the club. But I think what we have seen from, and we've touched on this, that I think we have seen an improvement from Marvin Bartley, and I think he probably deserves the opportunity until he'll certainly get the opportunity till the end of the season, I would think, but. I think they should strongly consider get maybe. I think he is the permanent manager, isn't he, or is the caretaker? I'm not really sure, but I think he should get the opportunity next season. And I think our good friend and guest on the episode last week made the point that Livingston are in a better place this season than when they last went down, and obviously they came straight back up that time, and I would completely agree. So, yeah, obviously worrying for Livingston. The fact that we're giving them praise despite having one win this season is kind of crazy, but I think we have seen improvements from them, and hopefully they do get a win before the season ends, because one win in a season all the way back in August would be really difficult to take for the Livingston fans, I think. But yeah, really good for Kilmarnock. They've obviously bounced back. They went in a little bit of a lull results wise after the good start under Neil McCann, but I think he's shown why people have sort of been excited about the appointment, and why people rate Neil McCann in the game pretty highly, because two really good results back to back. And I want to say about Joe Hugo or Hugo. It was a really nice finish, as you said, for the first goal, but excellent work for the second goal. He flips it round the corner and then lays it across for Finlay Carson as a nice finish, as you said. And then the red card at the end. Did you see that? I didn't think that was a red card. I thought that was really harsh on Brooklyn
I
Kabongolo.
just, I can't. With, I'm done with the SFA referees, the SPFL referees this season. It's not even like specific ones. They're all incompetent. They're all garbage.
Oh no.
They're just making awful horror decisions week after week. It doesn't matter what competition it is. It could be Park Thistle getting a stupid handball given against them. It can be Brooklyn Kabongolo just pulling his man back. Anyone with two eyes in their head can see that's a professional foul. That's a yellow card. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a goal scoring opportunity, and the inconsistencies as well. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Remember a few weeks ago, Falkirk and Dundee United, Henderson was sent off on the halfway line, and then because of the denial of a goal scoring opportunity. But I'm pretty sure that it was like the week after, Mikey Moore's brought down on the edge of the box when he's about to get a shot off. That's not a goal scoring opportunity. Kilmarnock player there was just running. That's a
Mm.
goal scorer. I'm so confused. I just want some consistency. I just want some. It's just it's ridiculous. I think the decisions are horror. It's the worst. I think it's actually the worst that's ever been. I don't think we've improved. VAR's improved at all. Since its induction, we thought, there's going to be teething issues. There is going to be problems. It's got worse somehow. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they got this one wrong, and but does the fact that the goalkeeper Pryor's slightly out of his goal a little bit, does that come into it? But I still think there's a lot for.
Well, by that point, you're just micro-analysing it.
No,
You're
no, I agree. I
trying.
think there's still a lot for the Kilmarnock player to do there, and I wouldn't say it's denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity. I just don't think it is. There's a covering Livingston defender as well. So yeah, I think that was really, really harsh on Kabongolo, and especially when I think it was it David Dickinson or was it? No, I'll double check. I don't think it was. I think that was the Motherwell game. Let me check here. I'll tell me who the referee was because he gave a yellow card at the time. Ryan Lee, it was, sorry, who gave a yellow at the time, and I think they should have just stuck with that. I don't really see that as an error that needs to be changed, and it's just over analysing and just I don't know, just changing stuff for the sake of changing it, really, and especially that late in the game. I know that doesn't come into the referee's thoughts and shouldn't do that. They're trying to act professional and all that, but yeah, just gave an extra sour taste for Livingston, and obviously he'll be suspended for the at least the coming match.
Yeah, I mean, there's a red card later in the that we're going to talk about that I think is absolutely the correct decision because it's a clear second yellow. But this is should have just been a yellow. It's ridiculous. I mean, you got a feel for. I think you've got a feel for Brooklyn Kavonglo. I think he's had a good back half of the season as well. Scored a couple of goals. He's looked good. So yeah. Um,
But
Ran.
maybe was he? Let me see. I'm actually going to double check this. I think if I remember, in the recent reverse fixture, one of Neil McCann's first, if not his first game, managing Kilmarnock at Livingston in a one each draw, was it not? Yeah, it was. It was Kabongolo who got a yellow card after 2 minutes and could have had two second yellows after that and was subbed off 10 minutes in.
Maybe
So is this
maybe he's got a
is this
wee thing
retribution?
against Levy. A vendetta against Levy, Brooklyn Kamongolo.
No, against Kelly, you mean?
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh god.
Yeah, but maybe that was why they sent him off. They were like, "Well, we let you away with it the last time. You're not getting away with it this time." Um,
Um,
but no, that shouldn't come into their thoughts either. But just a funny thing to think about. I thought,
I think next we'll speak about the most exciting game of the weekend. So the exciting game in question is, of course, Motherwell nil, Hibernian nil. Um, yeah, Motherwell have. I mean, I kind of let Ryan swear last week, so I'm think I'm going to say it for lack of a better phrase. Have shat the bed in the past few weeks. They lost to Dundee. They then lost to Celtic, perhaps aided a little bit by the referees. I'll clear that up by saying I thought the penalty and the red card was a penalty and a red card. However, before that, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain should have seen red. So, and now they have drawn 0-0 with Hibs. Quite disappointing, I think. A disappointing run into the season. Ryan think phrased it beautifully last week. Their title charge that lasted a week.
yeah, it did. But yeah, I think it is disappointing from Motherwell. A disappointing run of games, but I think they'll get back to winning ways, and I think they'll end the season relatively strongly. Obviously, they're not in the race for a title anymore. They're fighting their own battle with Hibs, probably for fourth place. They fail to open up a larger gap over David Gray's team, but they maintain the lead over them. David Gray's team extend their unbeaten run to 5 games despite not winning any of the last three. So not an excellent run for his side either. Both sides probably could have done with a win, but obviously they take the point each, which is what they done the last time when they played at Easter Road. Another clean sheet for Motherwell. They did think they had the goal with Elijah Just in the first half, but rightly I would say ruled offside. I think it was Oscar Priestman who was offside in the build up, and he did look just offside. So they got that decision right. Yeah, but as you said, or as you maybe joked in the opposite direction, there wasn't really much going on in this game. And yeah, I think a draw was probably a fair result. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't really have a lot to add to that. So we'll take it over to the league leaders, the Jambos, and not much to report on, I think, in this game. I mean, Dundee were decent. I think they made a few chances. Hearts, I think, just edged it as the better side. They had a few opportunities. They did take the lead through Ocean McKenty or McEntee. I always get his name wrong. And
It's
the
McAfee.
McEntee, right?
I
Um,
think so.
Strange, actually, because you would probably guess his first name is more difficult to pronounce. Um, but I keep flip flopping between McKenty and McEntee. Um, but he did give them the lead in the 77th minute. I've got another rant, actually. I've just realised I've still got an AirPod in. John McCracken is he's the worst goalkeeper in the Scottish Premiership, I think. Now that Casper Schmeichel's, basically retired.
You're being very
I,
harsh. I think you're being very harsh.
he's so. Come on.
I don't know what you expect them to save this.
Yeah. Well, he gets a
I
hand
think
to it, doesn't he?
it doesn't mean you should save it.
If
I
he,
think you're
if
being
he can
harsh.
get if he can get a hand to it, he can save it. Poor goal.
Where's your goalkeeping expertise?
I played in goals a few times. I let the ball roll under my feet in a tournament, and then I was subbed in the first half. So,
There you go then. The who
so
was it
I
that done
know I
that?
know what it's like to be a bad goalkeeper. Me and John McCracken are on the same
Oh,
wavelength. We're
oh
both
no.
trash, and we both let in stupid goals. We both make errors, and this was. Uh, you might think I've come after John McCracken a few times, so you might think I've got a
Yeah.
vendetta against him, but yeah, he's poor. I think any other keeper in the Premiership, except from like Schmeichel, obviously, would have saved that.
No, I think you're being harsh. I think you're being harsh. I think you've been harsh on a few people today, in fairness, but no, I think you're being
Who,
harsh on John
who,
McCracken.
who else have I been harsh on?
You were quite you were quite extreme on the referees.
But it's bad. They're inconsistent. Ethan, are you telling me you're happy with the standard of refereeing week to week? How
No, no, I'm
awful.
not. I'm not. No, I'm not. You're right. But
And the Oxley Chamberlain one's another example of incompetency. You
well,
know, the
did you think that he should have got a straight red or two yellows?
two yellows.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm in agreement with that. So yeah, yeah, I think you're right on that. But yeah, no, I think you have been a little bit harsh on John McCracken. Maybe he could have saved it, but it was a good header from McAtee, and yeah, a
Uh,
massive, massive, massive goal for Hearts because as the minutes crept on, it looked like they weren't going to get that goal. They obviously get it, bounce back from the defeat at Kilmarnock, put important pressure on Glasgow's pair, and obviously one of them wasn't able to live up to the pressure. As we've seen,
no,
Dundee lost for the first time in 6 matches. They were on a decent run. Obviously, they played pretty terribly, I think, in the derby, but got the two late goals in injury time to rescue a important point. Yeah, and as you said, I think there wasn't too much between the two teams, but I think Hearts probably deserved the win. They had most of the ball, most of the clear-cut chances in the first half. The second half, they were a wee bit less dominant, but they still looked most likely to find that goal, and they obviously got it. And yeah, I don't think Hearts have been the greatest team to watch, especially recently. But does that matter? No, it doesn't. Six of McInnes's team's last 7 games have been one had one goal in them. They've won 4 of them, lost 2 of them. The only game in that run that didn't coincide with that was obviously the 4-2 defeat at Ibrox. So they're getting the job done, Hearts, and that's the main thing, and that's all they need to do to stay at the top of the Scottish Premiership. But there's still 7 massive matches to go for them. So yeah,
there's going
um,
to be at least one loss in there. I can guarantee that. But
wonder who that's against.
but yeah, and then Frankie Kent was obviously sent off. We referenced it earlier. Pretty straightforward second yellow.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree. 2 silly yellow cards. Well, not sell. Yeah, I'd say 2 silly yellow cards, especially the second one. When you know you're in the yellow cards, you can't tackle like that. I think it was Riley brings down, and yeah, can have no complaints. And it's a real concern for McInnes now because Craig Halkett obviously pulled out the starting 11, injured in the warm up, so we'll have to see the extent of that. It felt like they were going to have some good news with obviously Cammy Devlin started for the first time in over 2 months. Lawrence Shanklin came off the bench for his first appearance in the same amount of period,
Yeah.
the same amount of time away.
Nearly scored from the halfway line.
Yeah, he did. I think he was frustrated with himself. Actually, he didn't. Obviously, being pretty harsh on himself, I would say. But obviously, he thinks that if his fellow countryman Kenny McLean can do it, then he can do it as well. But yeah, obviously they drop out. Frankie Kent, they won't have him for the next game. We don't know the extent of the Craig Halkett injury. That could be massive if they have their captain out between now and the end of the season. Stuart
If you're
Finley's
gonna
obviously already out.
if you're gonna get injured, this is the perfect time to do it.
What?
You're gonna get injured in the run in. This is the perfect time to do it, right before the international break.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah. If it's like a not a major injury, but if it's
Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree with you. But if it's like a if it's a hamstring injury, then he's going to be out for a few games after the international break. We'll obviously have to see what it is. I imagine they'll know what it is. I haven't seen it yet, but my concern is the fact they're missing three of their central defenders possibly for the next game. But they'll obviously be hoping Halkett's back. They've got Devlin and Shanklin back, which are major pluses. So yeah, an excellent weekend for Hearts to win. They extend their lead at the top by 1 point, of course, going from the two it previously was over Celtic to now three over Rangers as the nearest challengers. So yeah, an excellent weekend for them, and they'll be looking to kick on in these last two games. I think it's what they travel to Livingston and then they welcome Motherwell to Tynecastle, I think. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's the
Old
remaining two
Mother will have pulled the finger out by that point.
games. Yes, I would hope the same from a Celtic point of view, but I think that'll be two tough games, even against Livingston. I think Livingston will give Hearts a difficult game, but we'll have to see what happens between now and the split. It looks like the top six and bottom six is secured, or all but secured, so we can start trying to work out who's going to play who in the split. But yeah, some two massive game weeks to come before we decide that, and obviously an international break as well, which you referenced to, which we'll talk about a little bit after we've covered the Glasgow pairs matches,
Yeah.
probably, unless you've got anything else to say on this one.
No, no, I don't. And this is the perfect start to what was a cracking birthday weekend. Happy birthday to me. I feel like the footballers knew what was going on. So no, I've during the wee breaks in the recording, I've been winding Ethan up quite a lot. So um, he's I think he's getting fed up with me a little bit. But we'll talk about the game. Um, Rangers versus Aberdeen at Ibrox. A 4-1 victory for Rangers. They opened the scoring in the 35th minute. Some nice play down the left hand side from Tour Romans gets the ball in. It's sort of bounces about, comes out to Tochi Chikwani on the edge of the box, and it's a nice, well taken finish from him. First time. Just after half time, Mikey Moore doubled Rangers' advantage, a counter attack. Michael Stewart talking about how well Olasanya was doing holding up the ball. Olasanya then loses it and Rangers score. So, so yeah, Mikey Moore getting a well-deserved goal. I'll speak about him just after I've done the recap because I think I'm in love. Uh, yeah, Mikey Moore with the second. Aberdeen got one back though through Rangers' complete own fault, messing about with it at the back. Chikwani, who I thought was excellent again, actually does give the ball away. So that and it's a terrific finish from Dennis Geiger. It wasn't long though till Rangers restored their 2-goal advantage. Nicholas Raskin, a free kick swung in, it's not cleared properly, and it is quite a nice finish from Raskin. Rangers did have the ball in the net for a fourth time, but it was ruled out. Bojan Miovski scoring against his old side, but it was ruled up for a handball in the build-up. It was ages ago, but I understand the phase of play rule. It needs to go out for it to be a different phase of play, and it was a handball, in my opinion, unfortunately. So that goal was ruled out. However, James Tavernier with an absolute belter of a free kick in the 96th minute and off the bar. He's enjoyed hitting the bar at Ibrox recently. Thankfully, this one went in. A good win for Rangers. And the start of the Stephen Robinson era, still not going too well. Aberdeen haven't really improved from what I've seen in their games against Rangers and Falkirk.
No, the Aberdeen haven't, and I didn't expect them to. Stephen Robinson's got a massive job on his hands to turn Aberdeen into positive lights between now and the end of the season. Obviously, he's going to have a summer to work up with that squad and to get rid of what he doesn't want and bring in his own players. But yeah, I didn't have really any hope or expectation of Aberdeen going to Ibrox and getting anything from the game, even when they pulled the goal back against the run of play. It was a well worked goal once the Chikwani had gave it away. But yeah, Rangers took their goals well. I don't think Rangers were excellent. I thought that they played well in parts, but they scored 4 goals. Could have had 5, as you said. So yeah, a good day for Rangers, and then made an even better day, of course, the next day when Celtic drop points and they move up to second place. And yeah, I think there's a little bit of a greater buzz amongst the Rangers fans that they can win the league after obviously the disappointing results against Celtic, and the although they got the job done against St Mirren, some would say it was a disappointing performance, but yeah, 4 goals, you can't complain with that, and obviously Rangers will just be looking to pick up maximum points in these next 2 games before they go into the split, which I think for every team in the split, every game is going to be like a cup final with just how closely contested the league is, obviously in terms of the title race, but in terms of other positions as well, and how difficult it is, I think, to pick up 3 points in any given game for any given team. So, yeah, massive win for Rangers. Same again for
Yeah.
Aberdeen. And
Winning 4-1 as well is a big plus because you mentioned there how close it is.
yeah,
And I feel that the league could even come down to goal difference. And when you've got the chance to put a few past the team, you should take it. And Rangers did that.
yeah, exactly that. Because as you said, it very easily could go down to goal difference or even goals scored. And yeah, it has been that tight all season, and you really don't know what way it's going to go. So you need to take advantage when you're on top. That's what Rangers did. I think Aberdeen, in fairness to them, made it difficult for Rangers to break them down initially. But once Rangers got that first goal, there was no real contest. And yeah, I'm slightly worried about Aberdeen now because you look at them. We were speaking about Dundee earlier. Dundee, after St Mirren and Kilmarnock obviously winning and Dundee losing at Tynecastle, Dundee are only 5 points clear of the 11th place, and Aberdeen are only 3 points clear. So I think Stephen Robinson's got to start getting a tune out of those players. I know he's just in the door, but if he wants to stay as a Premiership manager, then he's going to have to turn things around quick because St Mirren and Kilmarnock, based off the weekend, I know it's 1 week or 1 game. They seem like the sides with more momentum than the team from the northeast at the minute.
Yeah, I've just got a couple more points. You mentioned there earlier, this is still on Aberdeen, but you were talking about how Rangers didn't look too great. They were fine, but they weren't like spectacular.
Yeah,
And it's just building off what you said about Aberdeen because, yeah, Rangers weren't spectacular, but Aberdeen, oh my word, genuinely god awful. One of the worst, I think, one of the worst sides I've seen this season. They are physical and fast, but at one point they messed up a 3-on-1 counter attack. Like, how was that even? They passed it to the only defender that was there, which was Nasser Giga, who is playing really well at the moment and should be the centre back for the league run in. But yeah, Aberdeen are dreadful. Dimitar Mitov as well. He just looks unsure. I don't know why he's still in goals. Um, because, well, who did they bring? They brought somebody in, didn't they? And they've barely played.
Braithwaite. They brought in Braithwaite and played 3 matches, and now he's well, despite keeping a clean sheet against Dundee United, he's been on the bench for the last two against Falkirk and of course Rangers. So yeah, a wee bit of a strange one, but obviously since Stephen Robinson's come in, maybe he's taken this as a fresh, a clean slate for Dimitar Mitov at Aberdeen and a new opportunity for him to find the form which once had him as well, certainly St Johnstone's player the season, which obviously got him the move to Aberdeen. So, yeah, he's been poor, and yeah, I would agree with what you said. Aberdeen just look like a really poor team at the minute, and that's why I'm concerned that they're going to be in the battle for that 11th place right until the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And just lastly, I mentioned it earlier. Mikey Moore is sensational. Um, he's I pray Rangers will get to keep a hold of him, but I don't see it. He's going to be Rangers would need to shatter their transfer record 4 or 5 times over. I think if they wanted to bring him in, the prices that Tottenham would be looking for. Obviously, I'm not saying he's valued like in terms of our valuation. I'm not saying he's that £50 million player, but that's the type of price Tottenham would be able to get for him from someone else. So, um, but he's incredible. There was one point it was in the first half, and he ghosted through like three Aberdeen players with as it was as if the ball was attached to his feet. Velcro shoes, Velcro boots, and then the fourth defender got a really good block in, but he's ridiculous, and it just you forget as well sometimes. He turned 18 last summer. He couldn't play for a while because they had trouble with his registration because when they signed him he was 17. Like he's he's ridiculous, and he's going to go on to much bigger and better things than Rangers. I think in terms of the level of football, he's tremendous.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Maybe not on the valuation. I don't know if maybe Spurs could get 50. I think maybe like £30 million.
Somebody would pay 50 for him. Come on,
I
people
don't
have
think I don't think so. 50.
Chelsea paid 50 for Romeo Lavia a couple of years ago when he'd barely played any games. Like,
I think they paid more for him in fairness. No, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. He is still young, as you said, and I was watching the game the other night, and one of my friends said to me, "Is he the best player currently, best football player in the league at the minute?" And I was trying to think of other players that I could put up against them, and there wasn't
I
really.
don't, in terms of technical ability, I don't think like on the ball, I don't think there's anyone close to him.
Yeah, I don't, at the current sort of form, I think he's the best, been the best player in the league for a little while now. Obviously, Celtic haven't got anybody that's been turning up trees across the whole season. Never mind recently. So yeah, I would probably say he's certainly up there. You've got to remember he's only 18, but yeah, I think he most likely for Mikey Moore. I think he'll spend next season in Spurs' championship push. I think he'll be one of the leading players in that
Well, was
championship.
that you saying you think Spurs are fully going down, eh?
I think Spurs are getting relegated. They obviously lost 3-0 yesterday to one of their fellow candidates, Nottingham Forest at home. So, yeah,
Yeah, I think if Spurs go down, there's no chance Rangers will get them. If they stay up, there's a slim chance Rangers will get them. In my opinion, I think it's like microscopic though. But you
yeah,
know,
I think it'll
but
be too
but
much.
if they do go down, he's definitely going to be starting for Spurs. I think, or he'll request a transfer. Although Chris Jack did report the other day, Mikey Moore would be open to coming back to Rangers. So, and he's every time he speaks in the interviews, I think he said he's going to make the most of every game until now in the end of the season in this in the shirt. Because he's loved his experience here, and after a rough start, I mean, see the turnaround as well. And I think I've asked this before. Makes you wonder how bad Russell Martin is because the turnaround for this kid, um, because fans were wanting to send him back to Tottenham. People were questioning whether there was a clause in the loan where he had to make a certain amount of appearances because he was awful. Um, but Danny Rose come in and he's allowed him a bit more freedom, and he sort of drifts. He plays in a similar position to what Ryan Kent used to, and not he's not like an out and out left winger. He's like a centre forward 10 drifting out to the left. It's kind of combination. It's a free position, where he gets to do what he wants, kind of. And then he's been terrific, absolutely terrific. But
Has been,
um,
and I think he'll certainly be up for the Young Player of the Year award.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So we'll move on to the final game of the weekend. No, we're neutral. We're neutral on this podcast. But Dundee United 2, Celtic nil. Um, I didn't get to see all of this game, but I caught bits here and there while trying to avoid doing work at my work. So I saw maybe like 10, 15 minutes of the first half. Some of the worst football I think I'd ever seen from both sides. And then apparently, according to my uncle, who is a Celtic fan, um, apparently in terms of quality, the second half was even worse. I don't know how that's possible. Dundee United opened the scoring through Will Ferry just after half time. It was poor defending from Celtic, allowing the ball to sort of go across like that. I think, did it take a wee deflection or was Sinisalo just wrong footed?
No, I
Uh,
think Wazami Sinisalo sort of dived expecting Will Ferry to get a sort of cleaner connection on the shot, and then Kobe Donovan went to, because Will Ferry hit it into the ground and it bounced up, and Kobe Donovan tried to block it, and he only really helped it over his goalkeeper. So Sinisalo might have saved it, but yeah, as you said, it was terrible defending from Celtic, and crazily enough, that's Will Ferry's first goal for Dundee United. He's played
really?
77. He's played 77 games for them, and that's his first goal. He's got 12 assists, but that was his first goal for himself. So yeah,
It's interesting. Well, Ashley Maynard Brewer was trying to play himself into the same conversation as John McCracken and Kepa Arrizabalaga. Um, uh, after Real Hatate was moved to right back and had a crack at the Dundee United goal. The ball slipped through his hands, bounced back off the post, and then out. So lucky from Ashley Maynard Brewer there. And then just after that, Dundee United had their second. Ian Crocker was calling him Maggie. I thought it was a Jai. So I don't know. Balls played across down the left hand side. Shot is blocked from Max Waters, and then I'm just going to call him a Jai. Just walks on it, strikes it quite well, but a wee deflection from Liam Scales to help it just past Sinisalo into the bottom corner. Dundee United 2, Celtic nil, and that was that from there. I didn't really see it, so I couldn't tell you if Celtic improved or anything like that. But from what my uncle said, they were actually a little bit better in the first half than they were in the second somehow.
yeah, that was a really, really poor performance from Celtic, and one that I just didn't see coming. As I said, a decent performance against Motherwell last week, as you said, aided by the decisions, the sort of the rub of the green of the decisions in that game, but they took the advantage. They took, I can't get my words right. They took full advantage of the man advantage when they got it. But this was just terrible from start to finish. Celtic were really poor. Dundee United, I didn't think were great, but they defended their goal well. They had, I think, the most shots that any teams had on Celtic's goal this season in the Scottish Premiership. I think was the stat that Ian Crocker used. So if you have 19 shots, 8 on target, you've got a chance of scoring a couple of goals, especially when Celtic have had less. They get a little bit fortunate with the goals, of course, with the deflections, but no, Dundee United were really good, and a real bounce back from them, because it would have been difficult to take losing 2 goals late on to their rivals, especially having played so well in the derby. But obviously, they carry that form into this game. Another big win for United, and I think Jim Goodwin's obviously improving his reputation in the Dundee United fans' eyes because a few certainly not sure of him, but they're still in with a chance, a very slim one, we will say, of top six, but
Not
certainly
in with a chance. They're mathematically in with a chance, but realistically, they're not in with a chance. Come on.
they are in with a chance.
Okay, we'll see.
If they win at Ibrox, they're in with a chance.
We're not going to win at Ibrox, though. Rangers have lost once at Ibrox all season to the league leaders. So,
Okay. Rangers also lost to Celtic at Ibrox.
in the league,
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. But what about this crazy stat? Celtic have lost more times in Dundee this season than they did anywhere in the entirety of 2024. They've obviously lost three times already in Dundee this season. They lost at Dens under Brendan Rodgers, I believe. They lost at Tannadice under Wilfred Nancy, and now again at Tannadice under Martin O'Neill, who previously had a record, I believe, of 19 wins from 19 games against the Tangerines. So, yeah, there we go.
the city of discovering your rubbish. That's uh, that's what Dundee has been for Celtic this season. Did you enjoy the wee wordplay there?
Yeah, I did. And do you know where Celtic need to go next when they return from that international break?
Dens, is it?
Queen's Park, yes. So it could be four defeats, four for Celtic, and I don't think that's out of the realms
A
of
wee Elvis
possibility.
special. An Elvis special at Dens, maybe.
Yeah, certainly could be. But as I said, I think all three of the teams will drop points again, and I still, I'm not going to. I had Celtic. I said Celtic. I think would win it after last week's results, and I'm going to stick with it. I think Celtic have the advantage. Both Hearts and Rangers still need to come to their ground, but obviously, if Celtic were to drop points at Dens next week, I think it would be over for them. But we'll obviously see what Celtic team turns up, what players they have back, because obviously there was a few injuries for this one. Araujo, I think, is a doubt to be back after the international break. I believe he's returned to Bournemouth, but Alistair Johnston might not be too far away. He's in training, called up to the Canadian national team. Arne Engels possibly making a return, but do Celtic have enough? We'll obviously see. But yeah, massive win for Dundee United, well deserved, and yeah, more concern for Celtic after it seemed like everything had cleared up in recent weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Just before we finish up, we're going to speak very quickly about the international break coming up. Scotland have two friendlies against Japan and Ivory Coast. This Saturday at Hampden against Japan, and then on Tuesday at the Hill Dickinson against Everton. So Everton against Ivory Coast. So uh, yeah, a chance to see some of the boys before the World Cup, Ethan.
Yeah, exactly. And this should hopefully be the chance to experiment some things, maybe change the formation up a little bit, give some players that haven't had as many minutes in recent camps, have players that have never had minutes in any camps. In the case of Finlay Curtis, and I believe he's the only first time player to be called up. That's why I think it was the perfect opportunity to get some more players like that. Your Calvin Millers, Barney Stewart's, Craig Halkett. I still can't believe he didn't get a call up.
I can't
So
believe he didn't get a call up either, because John Souttar has been ranked rotten.
yeah,
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's not even playing over a player that everyone thought was the worst defender they'd ever seen a few months ago. So
yeah, Craig Halkett's been the most consistent central defender in the league, I would say, across the course of the season. So yeah, really unfortunate for him, but hopefully maybe Steve Clarke thinks about it ahead of the summer. Although I'm not putting too much faith in it. Maybe Steve Clarke will release a 35-man squad like Thomas Tuchel obviously did, and then
Barnes got called up
yeah,
to
he did
the.
as a replacement. So that means he's like one of the 36 or 37 in the England selection process. So yeah, I respect Harvey Barnes' choice, obviously, but Yeah, he could have been.
Don't come here again. Don't
No,
ask
no,
us
no,
again.
he can't come again now. No, he can't come again now. But he missed his chance. He could have came and been part of the setup at Scotland. But he's obviously chose to go and fight for his place for England, like someone.
Aye, and Sunderland beat them the other day, so enjoy that. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Harvey. Wait.
Someone in similar circumstance who obviously played, well, was called up by Scotland and now I think might start for England in the tournament. Actually, had a really good season, Elliot Anderson. So
Different
fair
though.
enough.
He wasn't like flirting with Scotland for years, and he was young. England said we could call you up. He is
Yeah,
actually English, I'm sure.
yeah,
So he wasn't like he hasn't been flirting with Scotland and been in talks about 4 bloody times.
yeah.
You know
And he's
that's
actually
that.
going to play. He's actually going to play for England. That's what I'm saying. Like he's took the decision to play for the country he's from, and he's playing for them. Whereas Harvey Barnes has took the decision where is he going to ever play for England? If he's not getting called up initially this season, then I very much doubt it. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of a strange decision, but we didn't need him to qualify, so we certainly won't need him at the tournament. And throughout this break as well, I'll certainly be keeping an eye on Brazil, Morocco, and Haiti to see what they're up to. Obviously, Morocco,
The
now
AFCON
world
champion.
winners. Yeah,
Absolutely ridiculous, shambolic corruption at its finest. And I hope we pump them out the tournament because they deserve it.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
But two, I'd say, decently competitive games coming up for Scotland as well. And yeah, have you got anything to add, Ethan?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you to you. Thank you to the listeners for watching and listening. It's been a bit of a rowdy one today because of me. I'm just in a good mood. So yeah, make sure to check us out on all platforms. Make sure to check out the the TikTok and the Twitter. Like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Tell us what you think of the Scotland squad. Tell us what you think, how you think the league title will play out. Tell us why Finlay Curtis is clear of Calvin Miller. Thank you and goodbye.